So here I've got the generic Power Wagon body, which I've trimmed, and I ran it with it once on the T-Rex 4, and I just thought the tail was a bit long, it was catching on stuff, so I thought, you know, I'm going to try shortening it. So first of all, I've marked out where I'm going to cut, and what I'll do is actually cut this out, and then leave some, so cut most of it off, but also leave some material behind, so it acts as tabs, which I'll be able to hopefully glue what's left onto the back of the truck. And then also I'll use some shoe glue, and I'm going to attempt to glue it back together. This is all experimental, obviously I've never done this before again, so I just thought I made a video just taking you through the process perhaps. So here's the back end cut off. I've cut off right at the wheel well here, and then my plan is to basically attach this to here so that essentially this masked part is completely gone, and you just obviously stick the end of the body back onto, well, the rest of the body. I'll probably cut this so the bed, where the bed comes up, this part will all be gone, but the flat pieces, like the inside of the bed and the side of the body, I'll leave so that I can slot it underneath this existing body. And because obviously this is the edge of the body, it wouldn't look too bad, and also it just leaves me a place for glue to grip onto essentially. I'll probably make a cut here, and then another cut along this edge here, and then remove this top piece and retain the flat pieces as I said. But yeah. So here I have it finally trimmed up. So the main idea of this is for all these tabs that I've left on to slide underneath the body, so that would give it a place for the glue to contact. So glue I have in mind to do this is E6000, just because of its flexibility. You don't want to use CA glue, definitely not, because first of all it'll stain the Lexan. Not that it matters too much of the paint, but also it makes it very brittle, and if you have a very solid and hard compound sticking your Lexan together, when this Lexan flexes, it's probably going to crack and it's going to come undone. So that's why I'm going with E6000. So currently it's not trimmed yet, but I'll probably mask this together and then obviously trim this so the wheel well will fit, and also trim that little piece off. There are a few gaps in between this and this part because I didn't get the cut quite straight, but that's pretty minor. It's in the bed, you probably won't be able to see it, and since you know it's in a corner, you can pack it with a bit of glue and then retouch it with some paint pretty easily, so I'm not entirely concerned. So yeah, so here it is all trimmed up. Obviously it's not quite showing up as well because it's black in the interior, but on the exterior you can see obviously this is going to be flush, so the tape will be flush against the edge of the body. And essentially it's shortened by around 20 millimeters or so, and this just basically tucks straight up against the rear bumper mount. Actually it's a little short for the rear bumper mount, which I'll trim, but it's no big deal, it's just plastic, and this essentially allows the body to be as short as it possibly can go, and from this it's looking pretty good. Obviously there will be a seam here, but I don't think it's going to be too noticeable at all really. Ideally I would have left enough here so that it would come all the way up to this edge, but I didn't measure it out in advance, so you know I already made this cut, it's not worth going over. But yeah, next time I'll probably try and get it as close to this edge as possible, so that the end of the body will line up with the seam of where the bed ends, so it would look even less obvious. But anyways, I'm just going to go in first with E6000 to glue in this part, this flap right here. I'll put some glue there, let it dry overnight, and then we'll move on to the sides tomorrow. So here's the final product. This is actually the next day. I've already taken it out for a whole run already. As you can see, it's pretty scratched up, but this bob has actually held up quite well. You know, in fact, it hasn't come loose at all, it hasn't broken or ripped, so I consider it a success. And I think overall, with this wheelbase, this is just a rear bumper mount for the T-Rex 4, with this at the back, and this is right in line with that. So I'm running no rear bumper. I'm not actually running into any problems with this body getting caught on anything while crawling. I'm actually really happy with the length of it and how it sits right now. So again, recap a little bit. I've shortened this body itself around, this is probably about an inch or so. So basically this much I've moved. Essentially, this body used to be here, I've cut it and just slid it in and then used the length that I've cut off, or well, not cut off, but the length that I've left on it, and just moved it forwards and glued that in. This side is also glued in. For the most part, it's basically unnoticeable in the bed. There are two small cuts here, but they're also not lined up the best, but they're lined up pretty well. So much so that it actually looks fine, I think. So yeah, I can really consider this a success, and I might attempt this with other bodies. Obviously with these, you can't do it where the windows are because you would see the glue essentially, but after painting a body and then trimming it down, I think this is a super effective way to modify bodies. So, you know, keeping it high performance, so, you know, bobbing, narrowing bodies, while still retaining the lightweight of the Lexan. So all in all, I think this worked out very well, and I actually think that the truck looks really good. So I hope this is helpful. This has been helpful for anyone that has been looking to modify or bob their body, Lexan body. And just a quick note, this is the adhesive I used, E6000. It's pretty much available most places. Well, personally I recommend this, mainly because any other clear grip or similar sort of flexible glues like this one from Gorilla, this actually has solvent in there and it could melt the paint, so obviously that's not a good thing. But the E6000s work perfectly. It's a super durable and proven material. Also, it doesn't leave, it's not too bad if you get it all over the place. You can kind of work it off with a bit of isopropyl alcohol and a little bit of patience. Anyways, I hope that this helped anyone who's been looking into bobbing the body. This experiment has been very successful and I'm actually very proud of it. Worked out a lot better than I had first thought. And yeah, that's it basically. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you in the next one.